The Mavericks are about to get swept. They're down 3-0, and there's not much else to say beyond that. Game 4 is tonight. Jaylen Brown's about to be finals MVP. I'm Devin, and you're watching Hoops and Hops on Buffet Sports. Run the intro.
Uh, yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
Yeah, look, I don't know what else to say. I was pretty darn sure that we were going to get a Mavs game 3 win, and I mean, they got skull. To be honest, like they made it close and it was a good game, but at no point was I I should say after the first quarter, I was no longer hopeful for the Mavs that they were going to pull this game out. So let's just go into game 3. I don't know what there's no adjustments you make to game to for game 4. It's so simple. Luka just needs to be lighter and come into the season ready physically to play an entire basketball season and play defense at a finals level, or he will never win. Like it's as simple as that. I don't know what else to say. I keep smacking my hands together. Sounds like I'm clapping cheeks. Pause. So let's just go through the game real quick. Quarter 1, I was hopeful. Like they came out, huge lead. They were up at 13. They were up by 13 at one point. Derek Lively had a huge and one with about 5 minutes and 48 seconds left in the first quarter. Crowd was so into it, and I was like, yeah, we got, like, this is it. They got it. This is the game. They're gonna make a statement. It's gonna be 2-1 going. It's gonna be 2-1. They'll even the series up. We're good. No. Kyrie made a three with 4 minutes and 45 seconds, so about a minute later from the Lively and one. And it was his first three of the finals. Game 3, first quarter of game 3. It was Kyrie Irving's first three of the finals. This isn't winning basketball. Dante Exum has played in the finals before these players. Donovan Mitchell, Paul George, James Harden. That was a surprise to me. I just kind of forgot he existed. Being a Jazz fan, once I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, I saw him during the playoffs. I was like, oh yeah, Dante Exum still plays basketball. Anyways, um, my note literally says, quote, it's a 1 point game, question mark. Because it was like it just felt like all Mavs. I felt like all the momentum was Mavs ending the first quarter, and then you look down at the score and it's like 31-30, and you're just kind of like, oh well, I guess nothing matters. Like I guess nothing matters. Going into the second quarter, it was clear this was the best Jason Tatum had played. He had 18 points with 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Kai was playing the best basketball of the playoffs, really, in my opinion. 17 in the first half. Well, aside from that one Clippers game, I would say this is probably, well, the one Clippers game, the one or the one Timberwolves game, and then this might be his only game that he plays well in the finals. But he had 17 in the first half. At this point, we had about 5 minutes left to go. A lot of good energy behind Dallas. It felt like, despite it still being a close game, they could go on a run at some point and pull away. Kai had the step back three about 3:30. He had 20, but then Sam Hauser comes into the game and just goes 3 for 3 from three and turns the tide kind of in my head, where it was like Kaya 17, Luke is playing well. And then the seventh guy on the Celtics bench comes in and lights you up for 9 points. Like, I don't know. Um, I haven't I haven't here. Boston just creates so many driving kicks. and they're so effective. Well, they've got, you have to worry about everyone driving the ball. You have to worry about everyone shooting. I don't know if there's anyone on the team that can't shoot. Like I can't think of any. Tatum. Well, and when I say can't shoot, I mean like you can't, you have to close out to them because everyone on the team, you have to close out. You have to. If you don't, at any point, any of them could catch, and then it's done. Jason, Jalen, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Sam Hauser. And honestly, I think that's as deep as the rotation has gone this postseason. I'm trying to think of anyone else I've seen on the floor that I'm like, yeah, like even like at the towards the end of the finals, Tatum has taken on the five assignment, so guarding the five on the other end, so that they can have more mobility and switchability. So like seven deep, everyone can shoot, and there's just so much drive and kick opportunity. Yeah, what else is in the second quarter? Like I have some meaningless stuff. Luka, every time he shoots just like that fader off the 1 foot, just like the fader off of 1 foot where it's at the free throw line. It's just kind of a little bit of like a body bang turn. And it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's one thing about Luka that I do enjoy when I'm watching him. It's so pretty and it's just art. But it doesn't matter. It's 51-50 at halftime. The Mavs are up by one. Kai at this point had like 22, and Luka had something in the realm of like 13 at halftime, I think. And they're up one. And it's not, well, PJ Washington didn't play a great first half, but still, like they're up one. That's crazy. It was enough in the West for every other team. If those two guys go crazy, it was enough. But against the Celtics, they're just built. They're just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time processing this because I really didn't. I thought that this was the finals is where the Celtics were gonna fall apart, but the Mavs are falling apart harder. Like the Celtics haven't played great when you really look at it in the grand scheme of things. They haven't played fantastic. There's been guys who've had moments, have had games, but like Dallas is just beating themselves. I don't even want to go through the rest of this because Dallas is just beating themselves. I said it at the beginning, like they're not going to win a championship and they're not going to win game 4. They're going to get swept tonight because Luka can't keep his mouth shut. He can't get up and just play the next play. It's so infuriating watching it because it's really not that big a deal. And then when he gets his sixth foul, he looks over to the bench and screams at Jason Kidd. And I'm like, dude, it's not their job to challenge it when you make a terrible play. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. The only other thing in this, like, we'll go through the rest of the notes that I have here that I felt like impacted the game. But I think, honestly, I want to say it was the second quarter. Mavs were on a 20-2 run, and Jason Kidd called a timeout. And I was like, what is going on? What are you doing? You're on a 20-2 run. Let it rock until the Celtics do something. They're reeling. Let it rock. And this is something I don't know I haven't paid attention to the mainstream media a ton during this series because because I think everyone's been on the same page. Maybe I'm wrong, but with the Celtics like being too much. Well, I think everyone in the media thought coming in Mavs in 6, and then it was like, okay, Celtics are just too much. I don't know if this opinion has come out. If it has and it's old, sue me. I can't see Jason Kidd as a championship winning coach. I can't see it. I can't see up on the podium, Luka and Kyrie. Luka's got the finals MVP. And then, Jason Kidd's got the team around him holding up the trophy. I just can't see it. I can't see Jason Kidd being being the guy that took this team to the finals. I can't see it. I can't see Jason Kidd as a championship winning coach. It just doesn't, those two things just don't go together to me. And this is just proof of it. Why are you calling a timeout on a 20-2 run? Why? My guys are tired. We needed to. That's pop, okay? You did something small. Why'd you call that time? Someone did something. What are you talking about? Let the guys play. Boston, for the first time in the series, is reeling, and you're benefiting from it. I don't know. Sorry. We'll continue to go through these here. Um, in the third quarter, it was a there was an 11-2 run to start the third quarter for the Mavs. And so it was like, okay, there's something, there's life, there's signs of life. I have in here literally, if Luka lost 5 to 8 pounds, would he be more durable or more fragile throughout the season? I'm gonna go off and say he's gonna be more durable. I just think he weighs a little too much. He obviously played the whole season. He's a professional athlete. He's a fit human being. Probably has more long-term endurance. Well, not probably, has more long-term endurance than I do. But he just looks weighed down. He doesn't look he doesn't look, and I know he's not athletic, and I'm not saying he needs to be athletic. I'm not saying he needs to jump out of the gym. I'm not saying he needs to be speedy and shifty like Kyrie, but 5 to 8 pounds lighter, maybe your knees don't hurt as much. Maybe you bounce back from hits a little bit better because you're bouncing off a muscle. Like, I don't know what it is, but he just seems a little too doughboy. He seems a little too um soft. Like, he doesn't seem very pliable. A lot of the time when you see guys that are like that, they kind of have that, they're very pliable and they've got good balance, which he does, but they're very pliable and they get up from hits well. And it always looks like he got hit by a truck whenever he hits the deck. Like whenever he hits the floor, he looks like he got hit by a truck. And I don't know what it is. Like my physical therapy brain, I went to school in college for a portion of time for that. My physical therapy brain, watching his gait, watching him play, I don't know what it is that like he needs to do, but there's something. There's something. If it's mobility training, I don't know what it is, but there's something. When he moves and he falls on the ground, and then when he's getting up, and just as he plays, something just doesn't look right. And that's part of why he's so effective, because it's a little bit janky the way he moves, but specifically in his durability, there's something missing in his prep and his offseason work that needs to happen. And I don't know what it is, but it's driving me insane. Um, and then Jaylen Brown in the third quarter just took over the game, and it was done. When Jaylen Brown had 15 in the third, it was over. And again, it just affirmed once again, despite Jason Tatum playing the best game of the finals of his finals career so far, um, Jaylen Brown just a notch above him because he's better. Talks in the timeouts, he's the leader. And someone, I don't know who, I forgot who it was today, de- was debating and pushing back on the fact that Jaylen Brown isn't the leader on this Celtics team, and I just couldn't. I just was sitting there with my mouth open, like, what are you watching? What games are you watching? Jaylen Brown is the guy. He's the alpha. He's the leader. Everyone, it is him, and then everyone else. When the time came, which we'll get to it in the fourth quarter, to go get a bucket, they didn't hand it to Jason. Maybe they do that in the conference finals, the second round of the playoffs, in the regular season. But when it's finals time and it's championship time, it's Jaylen Brown with the ball in his hands. Hopefully everyone is seeing this, and it's clear now what the hierarchy is. That Jason Tatum is a soft one, or a really high ceiling two. And I heard something interesting today, that if you were to go through and look at every GM in the league and say, would you take Jaylen or Jason? Most people would take Jaylen. And I disagree with that. I think it depends. Well, obviously it depends on what pieces you have. I get it. You take Jason because there's more versatility there. But for me, obviously, I would take Jaylen. And I think a lot of GMs would take Jaylen. For example, a lot of teams, when the first time Jimmy was leaving the Bulls, and it was this quest for a championship for Jimmy, and we were all trying to figure out what the right fit for him was. Was it Minnesota? Was it the Sixers? Everyone wanted Jimmy. Jaylen Brown is a better shooting, less abrasive Jimmy Butler. To me, Jaylen Brown is what Jimmy Butler could have been, like I said, as a better shooter, and if he wasn't so damn abrasive with everybody. Hot take, Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like to me it's pretty spot on. But I'll continue. Let me get off my soapbox here. The hoops in Dallas are so loud. They're so loud. If you go watch any highlight tape, if you watch stuff from the finals, playoffs, whatever, they're so loud. Every made bucket, so loud. If the ball goes off the rim and it's just a clank, so loud. I don't know what they do in there, but the noise, whether it's they amplify the noise of the crowd, of the hoops, I don't know, but it's so loud in the Dallas stadium. Whatever they're doing it right. Um, Dallas goes on a 10-0 run just inside the fourth quarter, cuts it to 11. Then Kyrie gets fouled on a three-pointer at 6:11, goes 3 for 3. It's a 4-point game at this point. It's the fourth team foul with 5 minutes to go on the Celtics. Again, I'm going to keep saying it, man. I don't understand why teams get in close to the bonus in the fourth, early in the fourth quarter, and then don't just go after people in the lane. And I understand that it's playoff basketball and not a playoff foul is not the same as regular season foul. And so it's a gamble of if the refs are going to call it. But the Timberwolves did it. They would get close to the bonus or even into the bonus with 8 minutes to go and then not drive the ball. The Mavericks are near the bonus every game with 4 minutes to 5 minutes to go. Go to the hole. And I understand they're in a deficit. So they're in a large deficit, so they got to shoot. But you can start getting guys in foul trouble. What are we doing? That drives me insane as well. Luka picks up his fifth foul. Kid challenges it. It fails. The literally like it was like 2 sets later. Luka fouls again, tries to set the screen to get the charge, yells at the bench, like I said, fouls out. And I was excited because I was like, okay, we're gonna get to see all that Kyrie was talking in those years post LeBron, pre Kevin Durant, or leading up to Kevin Durant. I'd even say those years where he's like, I'm a one, I'm a one. Here's your opportunity, Kai. And he was certainly not afraid to take the shot, and I respect him for that. It looked like a carbon copy of the shot he hit in San Antonio on the Cavs championship run in what was that, 16? I thought it was going down because I was like, that looks so eerily similar to that shot. I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it here if I can. Hopefully YouTube doesn't kill me for it, but if I can find it, I'll put it here. I'll try and put it here. I respect him for taking the shot. Ultimately, it doesn't go down. You live with it, though. That's your best guy on the floor at that point, taking that shot, so you live with it. And then we get to the Jaylen Brown shot with a minute to go. He puts it down. I think it was like a 20, I think it was like a 17, 15 footer. It was close to the elbow. Just pull up, laced. 24 in the second half. Sorry, Jason, this is my moment. If we learned anything from this finals, and unfortunately, I've been on the other side of the bandwagon this whole time, trying to root for the Mavs to see them succeed. And I wish I kind of would have just taken this at a neutral perspective because I've been watching Jaylen every game specifically, but kind of from a hater mindset. I wish I could have watched this from a side of like, I like the Celtics because this was Jaylen Brown's ascension. And hopefully we talk about this in 2 to 3 years when he is in, I think, potentially MVP talks, so on and so forth, depending on the structure of the team going forward. But this was like his Kodiak moment where he ascended and became the one and started to be one of those guys in the league. And then Derek White, I think it was like 22 seconds to go, hits 2 free throws, and that was the game right there. Jaylen Brown's shot to me was the dagger. Derek White was just kind of the cherry on top of like, yep, you guys aren't actually, here's all of your hope right here, and it's gone now. So there it is. It's I honestly want to see the Mavs get absolutely rocked in game 4 at this point and just send Luka home crying because he posted this video, or he posted the LeBron meme where he's got the headphones and the sunglasses on. Allegedly, I saw it on Twitter. And if they do get game 4, then it's almost kind of sweeter. I take that back. I hope that they win game 4 so that the Celtics can go back to Boston and they will win their first championship in Boston in game 5. I hope that for them, for their sake. It's sweeter that way than winning it in Dallas in a 4-game sweep. It's cool, but it's kind of just like, nah. I hope they get an opportunity to go back to Boston and show that, we can close a game and we get to do it in the Boston Garden. So I don't know. Congratulations, Jaylen Brown and the Celtics for winning your first championship. Jaylen Brown on your first Finals MVP, and I'm looking forward to this ascension into superstardom because I think it's clear. All of our questions have been answered. We've had 2 finals trips and numerous playoff appearances from this team. And the question's always been, who's alpha? It's been answered. And Jaylen Brown is that guy. So congratulations. Celtics in 5. Celtics in 5. I forgot to sign out. Again, I'm Devin, and you are watching Hoops and Hops on Buffet Sports. If you want to see more of me or of the rest of our shows, we talk about football quite a bit. You can catch us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at buffet.sports. We post every day, if not twice a day. And generally, we take Thursdays off for short form, but that will change. We're going to have a schedule change soon. So leave your comments. We do a comment show every Sunday. Ciao, guys.